Hey, it's Miles here again. Hope you're all well. Today's video I want to talk to you. Let me just put my shades on and hold the phone properly. I'm still on holiday in Turkey as I do this video. So today's my birthday. It's my 41st birthday, and I shared a post on Facebook this morning basically talking about my biggest lesson from this past year. And it's not actually something I can take the credit for in terms of the message, but obviously I've had to be starting to apply the lesson for me to integrate it and be able to share it with you congruently, right? From a place of integrity. And just to clarify what I'm about to say, I haven't nailed it. I'm not like some metaphorical guru that's like stroking his beard and I've nailed this and you haven't. But it's really been a big shift for me this past year, some of the things I've been learning. And this key thing I've learned comes effectively from Joe Dispenza, although arguably nothing in actual fact is anybody's. It all comes from the source, right? It all comes back to the beginning of time, if you believe in that kind of stuff, right? The Big Bang or... Anyway, Joe Dispenza says... Dispenza? Did I just call Joe Dispenza Joe Dispenza? Sorry, Joe, if you're watching. It'd be cool, wouldn't it, if Joe Dispenza was watching my videos? Maybe one day I'll manifest that. Joe Dispenza says, maybe you want to write this down, by the way. He doesn't say that. That's what I just said. He says, you can't change your personal reality until you change your personality. I'll say it again. You can't change your personal reality until you change your personality. First time I heard that, I thought, that's kind of harsh. I thought I was getting to a point where I was meant to just accept myself and be self-compassionate, right? But what Dr. Joe Dispenza, not Dispenza, he's ultimately saying is, if you have goals and dreams, which my assumption is that you probably do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching me on YouTube right now. You'd be off doing something else, a lot more fun. But if you have goals and dreams, my assumption is that there are some goals and dreams you haven't achieved yet. And that's cool, that's normal, right? But know that for you to achieve your goals and dreams, something new has to come out of you, or something new has to come into you. So you either have to learn some new information, or you have to make a change within. And it's generally a combination of both, right? You know, you want to learn to play an instrument, you don't know how to do it, and that's a goal. Well, then obviously you're going to have to get lessons and get an instructor. So that's the new thing that's got to come in. But you've first got to have the idea, and you've got to have the visualization if you're playing that instrument, right? But you've got to have the belief that you can do it. So last year, it was my 40th birthday. We were out in Turkey. We're here in Turkey again. And on my 40th birthday last year, I was really, really low. Got really low. And looking back on it, it's because I had an expectation of what that day should be like. Bottom line is, I had an expectation that my personal reality should be a certain way because it was my 40th birthday. And then because of that, got an itch on my shoulder. Because of that, the universe sent me a lesson. And I didn't get the lesson initially. It's taken me a while, but I can look back on it now. You know how you connect periods of time back, like Christmases and birthdays? As I look back on last year, I can see why I had that low 40th birthday. And it was because I had an expectation that my 40th birthday should be a certain way, and that my personal reality, because it was my 40th birthday, that I should be happy and it should make me happy. And I think I even remember like not getting certain people text me on my birthday, and I was like offended. And I never talked about it, but it was like in my own subconscious. Like I had this really egoic self-importance, like everybody should know it's my birthday. And if they don't, and they don't acknowledge me, then I'm not enough. And all this kind of stuff, which sounds really silly. But at a core level, needing validation and approval and significance has been something that has been a dance for me my whole life. So, where am I going? I feel like I've just lost my train of thought because I'm watching the water slides in the distance. I'm going to head back to my hotel room in a minute. But going back to the original point from Joe Dispenza, if right now you have a goal, let's say you're watching this and you're in our coaching community, that may be a reason you're watching it. if you don't have the kind of life that you want, if you don't have the goals that you want, then it's probably more about your psychology, more about your personality than it is about your kind of tactical level way of thinking, right? So Tony Robbins says it another way. He says, you know, success is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. What does he mean by that? Well, what he means is, if you want to succeed at anything, it's more about your mindset and your psychology than it is anything else. And I often say that and people hear it and they say, yeah, Miles, I'm working on my mindset, but I'm still not achieving what I want. And I say, I kind of see mindset as like an elevator, and that maybe, perhaps, maybe you're on a level, or maybe you look at it like belt grades in karate. Maybe you've got to a certain belt grade and now it's time to go on another level. Like, I used to just kind of swear by the teaching of Tony Robbins, and then I started to swear by the teachings of Eckhart Tolle, and then I started to swear by the teaching of Joe Dispenza, and it will go on and on and on, and it won't ever stop. But my point is, I recognize that when I hit a point where I feel like I'm not growing, maybe it's a time for me to move to a different level on the elevator, or a different belt grade. And so, for example, this past year has been more about meditation. This year has been less about hearing and learning and teaching and mentors, and been more about going in, because I now recognize that, you know, information is only as good as the computer that you put it on, right? If you try and download a really high resolution photo onto a computer that can't handle it, then you're not going to see it. You're going to see like this grainy image, right? Whereas if you put it onto like a super duper MacBook Pro, you're going to see the picture the way that it's intended and the way that it was created. So you can only change your personal reality, as Joe Dispenza says, if you change your personality. And so for me, probably one of the biggest things I recommend is, if you're not spending time in meditation, you want to start spending more time in that. But you also want to make a point of really intentionally spending time in meditation, visualizing the new version of you. Like actively closing your eyes and visualizing yourself as the new version that you ultimately want to be, because it is in that time that you spend visualizing the new version of you that you can start to see that new personal reality. You can start to see your new personality, because also the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So the more time you spend in your imagination, like naturally like a child would, then the easier it will be for you to see the things that you want to be, and see and do the things that you want to do, because ultimately those things are I'm seeing Sati on the balcony has got like a birthday. I love it. She's got this big birthday balloon for me. Let me show you. You let me in that way? I'll come that way. Show me. Let me look. Let me look. Sage, show me. Look at this. This is what they've done for me. They're on the balcony. Sage, show me. Show me. They've got a birthday balloon. I gotta go. I hope you find this video useful. Let me know in the comments below what you've got from it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.